So, welcome back. So, we are going to discuss chapter number 14, technology, innovation and value creations. This was in the earlier syllabus also, but within new syllabus there are some new areas added. For example, big data has been added as really a good trend. First of all, we look at about the content we are going to discuss. Technology and business value, IT infrastructure, e-business, B2C e-commerce, B2B business, e-procurement, managing research and development, managing innovations, cloud and mobile technology and the big data. Right. First of all, we will see how technology contribute to business value. Actually, technology can contribute to business value in three main ways: operations, new product and services, then informations. How technology can contribute to operational activities? Technology has significantly changed the way business operation and practices are conducting. For example, nowadays many manual operations are automated. For example, when we cover chartered training, actually we found organization they have manual book sets, but now if you go for the audit you will see accounting systems, right. Then second one is new product and service. This technology has helped to innovate new products. For example, you can find product like Google, Facebook, those are new product and services. Not only that, video conferencing products. Then third one, informations. This IT has enormously increased the ability of organization to collect, store and analyze data, to transfer information and to create knowledge. So, IT has helped to collect high volume of data and not only collect, store them in databases and to analyze them, and from that you can find new knowledge. Then we look at about the impact of technology on the value chain. So, already you know what is value chain. If you remember what we have learned, we identify two main activities within the value chain model: primary activity and support activities. Within that we actually identify 9 activities. So, we look at about how technology impact on each activity. If you look at inbound logistic activity, you can use some of the technical application like MRP, ERP and JIT purchasing systems. These MRP softwares are there. By using those softwares you can identify the material requirement for the organizations. Then ERP software can be used to integrate different functional areas in the organizations, right, where one of the application is logistic relevant activities. Then JIT purchasing, another principle you can apply in relation to this. Then operations, normally technology can be used to automate the activities. You know what is operation. Operation normally refers to manufacturing activities. What are the technological application where you can use robo? There are some companies they use robo for manufacturing purpose, for example Toyota. Then process control, then machine tool control, then computer aided manufacturing, then computer integrated manufacturing, ERP. Then outbound logistic, we can use WMS system. You know what is WMS system, right? You can handle the inventories going out from the organization. You can identify, for example, where it is now, whether it is in the head office, whether it is in the regional office, whether it is a retail office, right. Then you can use RFID, radio frequency identification device. We learn RFID also. Then for marketing and sales, we can use electronic systems. You know what is EPOS system. If you go to supermarket, you can see some of the machines are there. When you have given a card, that machines are used with the cards. Those are called EPOS. Then you can use CRM software, where you can manage the customer informations. Already we discussed about CRM also. Then you can use internet for online marketing and selling activities. Then in relation to service, customer database can be used to give a better service to the customer. For example, customer complaint can be recorded in there and give a solution on that. Then procurement, for example, E-procurement, we can do the procurement work electronically. HR, we can use some IT based software to handle HR activities, for example, automatic attendance recording machines. Then infrastructure, it is not given here. For example, finance function come under the infrastructure, we can use accounting software. Right. Then we'll move to the next topic. How technology can add value to the organizations. Normally technology help to reduce cost. That is the number one reason of using technology in organization. Wherever you talk about technology, the main objective is to reduce the cost. For example, if you are using inventory management system, that inventory management system may help you to reduce the number of person needed to handle the inventory activities. That ultimately help to reduce the cost. Then second one is it enhance operational capability and increase the organization competences. It increase operational capability and increase the organization competences. That is the second reasons. Third one, it improve communication and information content. Better information add to knowledge and improve decision making. You can have better communications thanks to this technology. You can get more information, right. Then it improve customer service and so add value for the customer. So technology can be given, can be used to give you better service to the customers. For example, the online facility given for customers, through that customer will get better service. He can avoid physical transport, right. Then it lead to product innovations. Technology help to make product innovations. If you look at about the mobile phone, for example, Apple iPhone as an example for product innovation. Technology has been used for that particular purpose. Then innovation can create competitive advantage. So the technology based innovation can help to get a competitive advantage. If I get the same example, Apple phone, that has helped to get a competitive advantage to the organizations. Then IT and competitive strategy. So IT can be used to get a competitive advantage in two ways. First one is by reducing cost. Second one is making a unique product to the marketplace. You know these two strategy. The Michael Porter's cost leadership strategy, other one is differentiation strategy. How can we use Porter's cost leadership strategy here? Normally technology can be used to reduce the cost of the product, right. So that will help you to offer the good at the lowest price. For example, automation of clerical work, so that will help to reduce the labor associated cost, right. Then second one, by making it easier to differentiate products, a company can use IT to create a differentiated product for customers. You can use technology to offer a differentiated product for customers. For example, organizations like Apple, Google, Facebook, Twitter, even Amazon, they all help to offer a differentiated product to the marketplace. They all actually offer differentiated product to the marketplace, right. They have used technology for that particular purpose. Then we will look at about the IT infrastructure. That is topic number 2, IT infrastructure. What is IT infrastructure? IT infrastructure refers to the arrangement within an organization for using technology. So, arrangement within an organization for use in technology we identify as IT infrastructure. So, what are the main element of IT infrastructure? Standalone computers, networks, intranet and extranet, connected devices, centralized and decentralized processing. These are the main element. What is in standalone computers? You know what is standalone computers? India, we use computers without connection to other computers in a network. There is no connectivity with other computers in the network. For example, your computer at home, no connectivity to other computers in a network, no, right. But that particular computer may have some peripheral equipment like printers, scanners, drives for disks and memory sticks. The network, what is network? A network is a number of computers linked to each other so that they can communicate with each other and share the same file, software and peripheral equipment. So, network normally have computers linked with each other. These computers can communicate with each other and they can share same file, software and peripheral equipment like printers. I am sure you have experience with working in network in office environment. One of the example for this one is WAN, wide area network, right. Then internet and extranets. You know what is internet and extranets. So, in the internet, what is internet? Internet is an internal network where internal computers are connected to each other, right. Normally network within a building is an example for internet. What is extranet? So, when you have authorize users to log to the internal network, that is called as extranet. For example, you can allow external customers and suppliers to log into your intranet, right. In that scenario, it is called as extranet. What is connected devices? There may be some connected devices like dumb terminals, computers and printers, right. A network may also use other devices for input and output of data such as barcode readers and plastic swift cards. So, printers, terminals, barcode readers, plastic swift card, those are example of connected devices. Then another element is centralized and decentralized processing. So centralized mean the data processing is done at a central locations. Decentralized mean data processing is allowed to take place at local levels. For example, suppose you have a head office, you have 5 branches. If data processing is taken at the head office level, that is called centralized processing. If you have allowed each branch to do the data processing independently, in that scenario you are applying a decentralized processing. We have very simple few topic. The first one is internet. You know what is internet, no? Internet has enabled computers across the world to communicate via telecommunication link. Within that you can exchange email, right, or you can access to different websites. What is website? So website is a collection of screen providing information in text and graphical form. If you go to website, you know that, no, within that you can find different screen. Some of them are in a data form, some of them are in a graphical form, right. So you can when you click any screen you can get more information, no. So what is World Wide Web? www. Normally www is a navigation system within the internet. So www is a navigation system within the internet. It is based on a technology called hypertext that allow document to store on host computers on the internet to be linked to one another. It is a navigation system actually. Many people think www mean the internet. No, www mean the navigation system we use in the internet. You are aware that to surf the things in the web we need the web browser. Web browser help us to surf the things in web. What are the examples for web browsers? Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Enigma, then Chrome. Those are example for web browsers. Right. Then look at about the internet and extranet again little bit. What is internet? Normally internet is used to disseminate, that means distribute, and exchange information among the public at large. What is intranet? Intranet is an internal IT network used to share informations. This is an internal network actually. We use internal network to share informations. Normally users are given username and password. By using their username and password they can log to the internal network. For example, company policies, circulars, that may be within your internal network, that may be stored within a particular server. By access to that one you can get those informations. When you have so many branches actually the internal intranet can be accessed through internet actually. You use internet also to connect to the internal network. Normal network has firewall. What is firewall? Firewall act like a gatekeeper. Firewall check the people who try to log to the network. Normally people are given username and password which are stored within the server. You check whether those are correct or wrong. If those are correct, then you allow them to access to the network like a gatekeeper. Gatekeeper මොකද කරන්නේ? check කරලා බලන්න ඇතුළට යන්න දෙන්නේ. firewall එක කරන්නේත් ඒ වගේ වැඩ. firewall එක check කරලා බලනවා මෙයා දීලා තියෙන මේ information හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. හරිනම් විතරයි එයාට allow කරන්න network එකට access කරන්න. Firewall can be in the form of software or hardware. In a large organization you can find a hardware actually. In a small organization you can have a firewall in software. This is similar to actually internet is similar to a mini version of the internet. So what is extranet? So extranet is similar to the internet. So normally extranet allow some authorized users to enter to the company internal network. Actually, when you have allow authorized users to enter into the company internal network, that is called extranet. You know what is intranet? Intranet is the internal network of the organizations. So, if you have allow authorized external parties to access to internal network, in that scenario, intranet become a extranet. For example, you may have allow some authorized customers and suppliers to access to your internal network. In that scenario, internet become a extranet. And normally this outside party is also given username and password. Then you will define their access authority level also. They may be not given fully access to the intranet, only few model may be accessible for them. Right. Then ERP, what is ERP? In the ERP system, we integrate different functional areas together. Before ERP came into scene, organization functional areas use different system. Marketing people had their own system, then store people had their own system, finance people had their own system, separate software were used. Through this ERP system, which integrate all the functional areas, a common database is used here, right? Everyone can access to different model and do their functions. Here duplication of data is avoided. It's an integrated approach, right? So everyone can access, finance people can access to that, they can use their model required, then marketing people can access and they can use their model, right? All these transactions done are saved in a central database. Through this actually most of the core business function can be covered, right? Sometime ERP may help you to connect with the external suppliers also. What is email? I don't think I want to give more introduction on email. You know what is email. Normally email is used to describe various systems for sending data or messages electronically via telephone or data network and a central server computer. Nowadays actually you can use mobile phone and a smartphone to send email, no? And not only email, actually even SMS can be sent. So what is Wi-Fi internet access? Wireless Fidelity is a technology that links computers to the internet or to a network without the need for cable connection. No? Yes, this Wi-Fi help you to access to internet or a network without any cable connections. Nowadays actually Wi-Fi is available in many places, especially in many organizations. For example, you go to Karnataka Airport, you can find Wi-Fi free. Many hotels Wi-Fi is freely available. Even in some other organizations like bookshop, shopping centers, these Wi-Fi facilities freely available. What is home working? I think these days most of you are home working, right? So normally under home working, what is happening? So what you do is you stay at home and do the company work. This free Wi-Fi connection available help employee to access to company system and do the work related with them. But in Sri Lankan context actually Wi-Fi is not freely available still. But in foreign countries actually in most of the countries the Wi-Fi is freely available by covering the whole country. Therefore, in those countries people are able to access to this Wi-Fi freely and do their work from home very easily. In Sri Lanka also now people work from home but they use their own internet connections. I think in the future this will be largely applicable. People may be prefer to work at least 2 to 3 days at home and go to office very rarely. Then with that I am moving to topic number 3, E, business. Electronic business. And look at this one. Electronic business mean here we try to transform key business processes through the use of internet technologies. Here we try to transform key business processes through the use of internet technologies. By using the internet technologies, we try to transform key business processes. For example, online marketing activities or supply chain management. You may be able to connect with the suppliers, right, via internet, or inventory controls activities. What is e-commerce? If there is a financial transaction involved with the electronic process using internet technologies, that is called e-commerce. Then what is the difference between e-business and e-commerce? Actually, e-commerce is a part of the e-business. E-business is more broader. Under the e-commerce, only the financial transactions are concerned. For example, buying and selling a product on the internet and making payment via internet is an example for e-commerce transaction. But inventory control, if you are using technology for inventory control, right, for example, you may be connect with suppliers and the customers and right, then in that scenario, if you are not doing any transaction in there, right, so that is only a e-business activity, not a e-commerce activity. That is why e-commerce is just one aspect of the e-business. Then B2B and B2C, I think you are familiar with this. B2B mean business to business transactions. In there, business entities do transaction with each other. For example, transaction between supplier and the manufacturer. If you go to Alibaba website, actually they have one platform for this B2B e-commerce transactions where manufacturers and suppliers can deal each other. Then B2C, in there business entity deal with the final consumer. If you look at B2C transaction, this is the larger portion of the e-business transactions. For example, most of the companies sell goods through their website. In their B2C transaction take place. Right. Then B2C e-commerce, B2C e-commerce. So what are the different model available to conduct B2C e-commerce transactions? There are 5. So we look at about each one. First one is advertising model. What is advertising model? In there, business organizations given product or service for consumers without charging them. Free service is given, not charging from the consumers. Then how they earn money? They earn money through advertisement. What are the example? Google, Facebook, YouTube is a fantastic example. YouTube. I think about your experience in YouTube. Sometimes when you are watching video, you may see some advertisement, no? Before starting the video, even during the video time, you may find that. Then the second model is intermediary model. What is intermediary model? Under the intermediary model, business collect data about consumers and their purchasing habit and sell this information to other business. They collect information about the consumers and they sell this information to other business. Even Google, Facebook also can be considered under these particular aspects. Google especially, they sell lot of information of customers to other parties. For example, when you search some of the website, so they capture that and they sell that information. Some business entities, they sell some product, you are interested. As a result, you may find some email received from them, right. Then another form of this intermediate model is price comparison website. In there, it allows customers to view similar product offered by different parties. Then customers can make price comparison very easily. Normally they earn money from commission when consumers order product through its website. Then merchant model. What is merchant model? So under the merchant model, the business entity act like a merchant. You know who is merchant? Merchant can be carded. Velendara, right? So here the website allow customer to buy product and services. For an example, if you look at about the website like wow.lk, that perform the traditional merchant role. No, you can go to that website and from that website you can buy the products. What is manufacturer model? Normally manufacturer who directly sell its product to customer through its website. Here manufacturer directly sell product to customer through its website. For example, Dell has allowed customer to buy computers from their website. That is an example for manufacturer model. What is subscription model? Under subscription model, consumers pay for access to a website that usually contain high added value content. So when you are using the facility available in the website, right, you have to pay. For example, HBR magazine, Harvard Business Review magazine. If you want to read the article in there, you have to subscribe for that. Otherwise, you will not be able to read. Then 4.1. So what are the issues to consider when you are starting an e-commerce operations? This was tested few times in the previous syllabus. First one is value propositions. So when you start an e-commerce operation, you have to think how e-commerce arrangement can provide value for the customer. For an example, we will say supermarket. So how supermarket can provide value from online platform? Customer traveling time can be saved. Right? That is one of the example. Then another one is revenue. You have to think how you can generate the revenue. For example, if you look at a supermarket, a customer will buy the goods, no? Through that they can generate the revenue. Then third one is market opportunity. Normally, company should consider the markets and its segmentations. They have to think about the opportunity available in the market. For example, say you are a traditional tuition provider, you have to think about how many people are available in the online lecturing markets. So, if that size is potential only, then you can continue with the online model. If the number of customers willing to get the online product is very low, then it is not beneficial to go with online model. The competitive environment, you look at about the existing competitors, you have to think how many competitors available in the existing markets. For example, if LAF is going to introduce online option for customer to buy the product, then they can look at about the existing competitors like Keels, right, then Kagis also, right. Then competitive advantage, very important one. You have to think how company can give more value to the customer than the competitors. Through that you can get the competitive advantage. You have to think the way you can get a competitive advantage from the competitors. To get a competitive advantage, you have to give additional things competitors do not provide. Then market strategy, you have to think how a company expect to enter to the market and attract customers. Then organization of operation, you have to think how internally you are going to arrange operation for this new business. For example, what type of structure you are going to have, how many people you are going to have within that one, each one, what are the function of each one. The management team, you have to think who will be responsible for managing the operations. For example, who will be the head of the operation, you have to think about that. 4.2 how the internet has changed B2C business, this has also been tested in the exam in previous syllabus. So, what are the way internet has changed B2C business? It has created direct contact with the customer. Earlier, there was some middleman involved in business transaction like retailers, wholesalers. This technology can eliminate those middlemen and allow manufacturing. Then another one is convenient for consumers. Customers can make purchase at any time of the day. There are no barriers. You can use your mobile phone, you can use your laptop at any time, you can make an order. So, that will give some convenience to the consumer. Then small companies can succeed. So, small companies can access to the global market through a company website and cover the global market place. Then virtual businesses. You can have businesses where they do not have physical person, only exist in internet. For example, travelling companies, I have seen a lot of travelling companies nowadays conduct their business as virtual businesses. Some individuals work in there in most instances. Then new economics of informations. So many information are freely available for usage. That give some economics of informations. Think about you, how many material you use from internet for study purpose. All are freely available. Then speed of transactions. Within second you can make a transactions. Then we look at about the marketplace channel structures. What is channel structures? Channel structures are the means by which a manufacturer or selling organization delivers product and services to its customers. These are the way manufacturing or selling organization deliver product and service to their customers. If you look at about the traditional channel structures, you may see manufacturer attached with a distributor, then distributor may attach with wholesaler, then wholesaler may attach with retailer, the retailer sells the product. But there are some changes happening within these channel structures. You can identify two major changes happening: disintermediation and the reintermediations. What is that? Disintermediation, that is like divorce. Reintermediation means it look like remarriage. What is disintermediations? In there you remove some of the traditional intermediary parties. For example, manufacturer may stop dealing with some distributors, wholesalers and retailers. What is reintermediations? Establishment of new intermediaries in place of the intermediaries that were used before. You found new partner to do the business. For example, eBay. Samsung may have developed a good relation with the eBay. Now eBay is a new party. They connected each other. Because of these new intermediary parties, they normally can provide two things. They can provide new and important value-added service to the customers. For example, they can allow customers to view large range of products. Think about eBay. You can find thousands of products within the eBay websites. Then they allow more efficient means of transaction business. For example, customer can easily go to website and buy the product and make the payment also online. Then in relation to e-marketing, we can identify 6 I's. What are these 6 I's? First one is interactions. What are interactions? If you look at about modern mean of communication, you can identify method like email, which allow organization to regularly interact with the customer. Right? So there are regular interactive methods are available under this electronic marketing. So that will actually help organization to have more up-to-date understanding about the customer needs and wants. Then intelligence. What is intelligence? You can get more information about the customer through this new technological methods. For example, you can capture more information about customer habit, their spending power, lifestyle. Based on that, you can do a more analysis. You can do a more analysis on the customer data. You may be able to identify more individual specific need from those analysis. Then individualization mean organization is able to design specific marketing activities for individual customers. From the data available, you can identify what are the specific requirements of the customer. Then you can offer specific product to meet the exact customer needs. For example, this Pizza Hut, what they can do is they can analyze the sales information of the customer, then identify what are the pizza customer normally prefer to buy. Covering that, they can come up with a individual promotion campaign, maybe send an email to that specific customer. Then when the customer see the pizza he normally buy as a promotion item, customer may purchase the pizza. Then integrations, it is possible to integrate e-communication into wider e-buying process. Normally customer can respond via website to promotion in other media, right? Even if the customer does not want to buy things on the internet, the screen can provide contact telephone numbers. See, lot of information are integrated together. Sometimes customer access the website, he may put his number in there, but he may not buy the product. So, that information can be later used for some other purpose, integration. Then industry structure, the industry structure can be radically impacted through this new technology. For example, earlier we discussed that there are two things is happening, disintermediation and reintermediations. Some of the traditional partners are no more use, you divorce with them, disseminate with them, and now you use new partners, reintermediate. Then independence of locations, it allows you to have a global marketplace. You can go out from your home market and cover customers in different places in the world. Then we can move to B2B business. You know what is B2B business? In there, one business entity sell good to another business entity. So, what are the B2B business applications? One is supply chain management. By linking system and exchanging information, companies are able to communicate more easily with suppliers and customers. Now you can connect with customers and the suppliers. For example, you can have a IT system connected with the supplier, then your IT system may be connected with the customers also. Then suppliers can get more information about your inventory level, for example. Right. Then CRM purpose we can use. You know what is CRM? From the CRM you can identify specific information about customers. That information can be used for better relationships. Then outsourcing, you can outsource some of the activities of the organization. Then through this connected system you can easily monitor the performance of the suppliers of the outsourced services, and you can exchange some of the operational informations. E-procurement, we have already discovered e-procurement. So, in there we purchase good electronically, there is another applications. I am going to skip e-procurement part since already we have discussed e-procurement under supply chain management, but I have not covered the 6.3. Model 4 e-procurement. What are the different model we can use for e-procurement purpose? First one is public web. What is public web? In there are no relationship between the buyer and supplier. You just go to the internet for example and purchase the goods. You do not know about the supplier. There is no relationships. Exchange, under the exchange, suppliers and buyers trade through a third party open marketplace. Now here you deal each other in a third party open marketplace, not in the internet, but still they do not have a structural relationships, even though they may regularly deal with each other. Then supplier centric, what is supplier centric? In there, the individual supplier give access to the customer for a free negotiated product range. That is supply centric. So, for example, what manufacturer do is, manufacturer is given the username and password to access the intranet of the supplier. By using that internet, manufacturer access to the supplier website. In there, some of the information are available for manufacturer's usage. For example, the goods available for selling. Then buyer centric, India, the individual company have contract with a number of different suppliers. Within each company, they maintain catalog and ordering system. For example, say manufacturer, right? Manufacturer have ordering system, access of ordering system of few suppliers. Say ABC, the software is within the manufacturer system. So manufacturer can select whatever the supplier they prefer, then access to the supplier website and buy the products. Then B2B marketplace, India, an independent third party has agreement with a number of buying and supplying organizations. Here agreements have been signed with different buying and supplying organizations. Third parties maintain the market for you, right? Then what buyers and suppliers do, they deal each other within this particular marketplace. When they deal each other, they are bound with the agreement they have signed. This third party provide the marketplace for each one, right? Then we are moving to the research and development topic. Here I do not want to discuss about different type of research and development. We discussed this one under operation management, right? We discussed that innovation is helpful to get a competitive advantage also under the operation management, and we discussed there are two type of research, peer research and applied research in there. Then development take place after the research. Few research are normally conducted to find new scientific knowledge. Applied research is normally conducted to find a solution for existing problems. This is a known story. New products are major source of competitive advantage for the organizations. If you look at about the development of a new product, we discussed that one on the operation management actually. If you remember the that topic, we identify some stages that should be passed when you are developing a new product. Development of a new product is similar to a project. In a project, we identify three main issues. If you remember, what are three main issues you have to worry? Project objectives, time and the cost. Then when you are doing development, you have to worry about the control part. In each product development stage, you have to review it. For example, idea screening, you check the ideas, right? Then you select some idea, then only you go to the next stage, concept development stage, right? At each stage, the option to hold the development work may be taken in order to save costs. Yes, true. We'll say, for example, idea generation is the first stage. Then after that, we'll say, suppose we move to the second stage, idea screening. At that stage, we may take a decision to stop that particular proposal, right? Here, the objective is to save the cost. Right. What are the problem with research and development? What are the problem with research and development? One is organization and management. Very difficult. Why? Right. So when research and development is a separate department, it is very difficult to coordinate the activity between research and development and other departments. For example, coordination between production and research and development, and research and development and marketing. These are some of the problems you encounter. How they connect each other. For example, marketing people should give the ideas for research and development, no? That is one way. Then the idea developed by the research and development should be made into a true one by the production department, no? They actually manufacture the goods, no? Then financial, there is another problem you face. Very difficult to plan research and development expenditure in advance. Very difficult, especially for long term project, very difficult. We do not know exact amount we have to spend. Sometimes it may take more time and more cost should be spent on that. Then evaluation and control is another issue. Very difficult to assess the return you can get from this project, right. So, sometime it may be worth, sometime it may not be worth. Most of them are not available, those information are not available. Then another issue is cultural issues. What are the cultural issues? For example, this research and development culture may be different from the other cultures available in the organizations. Within the R&D department, you can find more academic people. So, academic people may have more university culture. Right, with that we can move to topic number 8, managing innovations. Managing innovations. There is a guy called Everett Rogers. He popularized theory on the diffusion of innovations. He created a theory called diffusion of innovations. He say the strategic importance of innovation depend on two factors. What are the two factors that determine the strategic importance of innovations? First one is how much value the innovation will create. What is the total value innovation can create to the organization? You have to look at about the sales income and the profit you can generate during the lifetime of the during the lifetime of the product. Right. Then another one is you have to look at whether innovating first will give the company a competitive advantage over their rivals. That is another factor, especially you have to look at about whether you are in a position to get a competitive advantage for a longer period. In other words, whether sustainable competitive advantage can be obtained. This innovation diffusion model, very important one. If you look at about the theory of diffusions of innovation, which concern with the way in which new ideas and innovations are spread and adopted by users. It look at about the way the new ideas and innovation are spread and adopted by users. It look at about the time period it take to know about new products by the users. If you take diffusion alone, diffusion means the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channel over time among members of a social system. So, what is the process where innovation is communicated to the customers through a social system? What type of process you are applying to communicate about the innovation to the customers in the social systems? Roger identified 4 factors that influence the diffusion of innovations. ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් ගැන කස්ටමර්ස්ලා දැනගන්න, අලුත් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් ගැන කස්ටමර්ස්ලා දැනගන්න සහ ඒක ව්‍යාප්ත වෙන ප්‍රමාණයේ වැඩි බව හෝ අඩු බව තීරණය වෙන්න බලපාන සාධක 4ක් අඳුනගත්තා. What are the factors Roger identified? The first one is the nature of the innovation itself. The nature of the innovation itself. For example, you say if you heard about flying car, you will think twice, no? You will you want to get more information on that, no? If someone talk about, will say about mouth trap. Someone innovated a new mouth trap. What about the interest on that? Compare with that flying car. Interest is very low, no? Nature of the innovation itself. Then the second one, the channel of communication used to spread information. Now, what type of media you are using to give awareness about the products. Then the third one, time for the innovation to spread through the social system. For example, how many months it take to know about the product by customers in the social systems. Then the social system. We look at about social system also. We look at about the culture of the individual in the social system, whether they have a common culture. If they have a common culture and if they are connected to each other, the message will be communicated very fast. But if you look at the culture, if you find a subgroup within the culture, it is very difficult to communicate the message to them. Right. What are the stages in acceptance of an innovation? You can identify 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovation. We call this one as AITA model, AIETA. We can use AITA model to identify the stages. This is a very simple one. What is the starting point? Awareness is the first stage. What is that? Individuals are exposed to the innovation but do not have complete information about it. This is the first stage where the customer just hear about the product. They do not have much information on that. Second stage is interest. At that point, individuals become more interested about the innovation and they want to get more information about it. For example, when customer hear about the new product few times, automatically the interest will be developed. Now they want more information on this. Then evaluation, third stage is evaluations. Now they evaluate the information they have received and at the end they take a decision whether they are going to buy the product or not. Then the fourth one is trial. So they buy the product and test it. Adoptions, if they are happy with the product, what will happen? They will buy the product again and again in the future. It is very simple model. Then life cycle to the adoption of an innovations. If you look at about the number of users who use a new product, the users can be categorized into 5 groups: innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, then laggards. We can identify 5 groups. If you look at the usage of them, the first group who purchase the product, we call it as innovators. Innovators, only a small percentage. For example, say 2.5% is an example, right? Then early adopter, next group we call early adopters or trendsetters. For example, say 13.5%. Then you can identify majority group. Within the majority group, you can identify 2 groups: early majority and late majority. Early majority and late majority. For an example, 34%. Here 34%. So in my example, 68% come under the majority group. The people who buy the product at last we call laggards. In any product you can find such group. At last they buy the product. For example, 16%. Right. So with that we have completed 8 topics within this chapter. But actually if you look at the previous syllabus, only 8 topics were there, but in this new syllabus there are 2 addition to this. We will look at about that 2 addition, topic number 9 and the 10. Right. First of all, we look at about cloud and mobile technology. What is cloud computing? These are new things happening in the world. So, cloud computing refers for anything that involves delivering hosted services over the internet. Here in the cloud servicing, what happens is you are trying to get the service via internet. It can involve both storing data and processing data. Now, this may involve storing data and processing data. If you look at about this cloud computing, traditionally organization had their own IT infrastructure to do processing work. For example, right, within the organization they have servers, then they have acquired softwares also like Microsoft Office. They had the required software and the required hardware within the organization. And this cloud computing concept, what happened is we are going to get the help of a third party via internet to do the data processing work. For example, you may get a help of a third party to get the service of software like Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office, in their organization does not buy the Office package. Instead, via internet, you use the facility of Microsoft Office from a third party. This is an application of cloud. Oh, not only that, earlier, right, you had the required hardware within the organization store the data. You may get that service also from a third party, right. For example, right, you may save the data in third parties available infrastructure, right. Third party may be maintaining the server. That is also example for cloud applications. Now this is very common actually. For example, this Microsoft is very popular in this aspect. Now most of the organization don't buy Office packages, instead they get the service of a third party cloud provider, right. They have three distinct characteristics. What are three distinct characteristics? It is sold on demand, typically by the minute or the hour. You have to pay for the time you use that one. It is elastic, right. So at any time, right, you can use that one. You can determine the demand less so high. Then the service is fully managed by the provider. Third party provider manage the service. Right. If you look at about the cloud computing deployment model, we can identify three cloud computing deployment model: private cloud, public cloud and hybrid cloud. What is this? What is private cloud? Private cloud mean a separate cloud service is provided for particular customer. Third party providing this one, but separate assigned place is available for you, right. So තමන්ටම කියලා වෙනම storage කරන්න වෙනම තැනක් වෙනම අඳුරගෙන තියෙනවා. That is private cloud. This is very expensive. Public cloud mean it is different from that. In there, not only one party, few parties use the same facility. For example, servers may be provided by one particular party via internet. The same server may be used by few parties, right. Hybrid cloud mean mixture of both. That mean you have a private cloud, at the same time you use a public cloud also. For example, the important application may be used with the private cloud, right. Then when there is a additional requirement, then you may go with the public cloud. I think this is very clear for you. See, where separate place is available under the private cloud, which is exclusively allocated for one particular organizations. Public cloud, see, the same infrastructure is used by few organizations. Then hybrid model, what happen? You have a separate one. Within that, when the for example, when the capacity is not enough within that, you may go to the public cloud and save some of the informations. Right. Then what are the cloud service categories? There are three cloud service categories: infrastructure as a service, IaaS, then platform as a service, PaaS, then software as a service, SaaS. Infrastructure as a service mean in their service provider provide virtual server and storage facilities, as well as the application program interface, right. So, in there actually the processing facility is given by a third party. For example, servers are provided by a third party. A required IT infrastructure is provided. In that scenario, company does not want to maintain separate servers, the information are saved within the third party facility. Then the second one is platform as a service, PaaS. In there, the cloud provider provide development tool within their infrastructure for users. What users can do is they can use those development tool available and they can do some software development, right. That is platform as a service or PaaS. The third one is very popular, software as a service. In there you use some of the software application of the third party service provider. For example, Microsoft Office, you access to the Microsoft Office packages offered by the third party service provider. Actually, first one look at about the hardware side, hardware facility is given. The third one look at about software side. In the second one actually it give some tool to develop some software. Right. With that, we will move to the next topic, final topic, big data. This is a buzzword, no? Many people nowadays use this big data, right? I remember when I heard about the big data in a conference, then I was so much interested. Then I go to the YouTube, watch so many videos, even I go to Amazon.com and I search some of the book and I order one and get it, right? But it's very complicated terms. Many people have different confusing idea on this. In simple term, what is big data? Big data means in simple term availability of large amount of data, right? So, availability of large amount of data, we call it as big data. Those data may be in structural form or unstructural form. For example, now customer access to so many website, Facebook, YouTube, those data also available for business entities. Those may be unstructural form. Then at the same time you may have some structural data. For example, the sales information relevant with the customer. So, when you take all these structural and unstructural data, you will have enormous data. When you take all these together, we call it as big data. Right. We learn about this big data. So, we can identify three important characteristics in relation to this big data. What are the important three characteristics we can identify in relation to big data? The volume, velocity and variety or variability. What is volume? So, you can identify a vast volume of data. That is the key feature of the big data. So, when you have a large amount of data, then you can use data analytics tool to go through those data, and that will help to identify more valuable information about the customers. So, in other words, data mining tool can be used with this vast amount of data available, then you can identify some more important information about the customer. Then velocity, what is this velocity? This refers to the speed at which real time data is being streamed into the organization and with which it is processed within the organizations. Velocity, speed at which real time data is being streamed into the organization with which it is processed within the organizations. For example, if you look at about online retailers, right, you can identify so many information about customer when they are doing online surfing within their website. For example, they can take each click used by the customer, what are the product they have look at. Then when they have purchased one particular product, then next time you can offer some additional product that is attached with that particular product also. For example, if you go to Pizza Hut website, when you buy a particular pizza, they next time they ask another question, do you want additional cheese, for example. Right, cheese related product when you buy, he try to sell additional product, no. Not only stopping from that one, he say, do you want to buy Coca-Cola also with that. Now, there is an example for velocity, right. Then variety, what is this variety? It talk about the diversity of source data available. So, you have a lot of data about the customer. Some of them are structural data, some of them are unstructural data. So, large amount of data, they are not in a standard form, there may be lot of different perspectives available with these data. If you want, you can identify the fourth V of big data also. Fourth V of big data. What is this fourth V? That is veracity. What is veracity means the truthfulness. To get the full benefit from the data available, those data should be reliable and truthful. If those data are not reliable and truthful, then organization may face risk also, because you are acting based on the wrong information. Therefore, it is important to ensure this data meet the veracity criteria also. That means data should be reliable and truthful. What is big data analytics? This is simply the data mining. These are the areas actually you have to learn in practice also. For example, as auditors, you must have the knowledge on data analytical tools nowadays. Otherwise, you have to rely on an IT guy to do this work. What is big data analytics? Big data analytics refers to ability to analyze and reveal insight in data. Ability to analyze and reveal insight in data which had previously been too difficult or costly to analyze due to the volume and variability of the data involved. Now, you have so many big data available. Now, what you can do is you can analyze this big data and you can identify some important information from that. Previously, that may not be available. For example, in a bank, you may go through different database, right, and you will identify some total picture about the customer. For example, what is the total exposure of the customer to the bank? Now you have big data available with you. You will go through this phoning side, right, then you will go through then other banking software like co-banking software, then leasing, if the leasing is available you will go through that, you will take them together, then you will get the total exposure. There is an example for use of data mining and find more valuable information about the customer. Then value of big data. So here we are going to discuss what are the different ways in which big data can create value for organizations. Big data can create value for an organization in 5 broad ways. So what are the 5 broad ways? Transparency, performance improvement, market segment and customization, decision making, then new product and services. Right. So we look at about each one. The first one is transparency. So data can will create transparency. Making data more easily accessible to relevant stakeholder in a timely manner can create value in its own right. For example, by revealing insight from data which had previously been too costly or complex to process, this transparency could relate to the data within an organization as well as external data. So for example, you may find some new insight about the customer. For example, it's a customer exposure. Customer exposure was found. It's a new information. This is a transparent information available for the bank, for example. So based on that, bank can take more important decisions. Then performance improvement. These information can be used to improve the performance. For example, in a bank you may find a customer, right, who has purchased 2 products, phoning product and the loan product. That information may be used to offer the third product also, leasing product also can be offered to that particular customer. That will help to improve the performance. So ultimately, so that will result in more revenue and more profits. Then the third one is market segmentation and customizations. This big data available will help you to do some analysis. From those analysis, you may be able to identify specific segment available within the markets. You may find a particular customer who have similar customer need. This is a new segment you have identified. Then the fourth one is decision making. This new analytical tool will help you to uncover previously hidden patterns and trend in data that can be used for decision making process. For example, you can identify some of the items which are rarely sold throughout the history of the organization. Then you can take a decision to stop selling them, or you can take a decision to have only a small number of inventory items from that. Then the fifth one, new product and services. Companies can use data about social trend and consumer behavior to give new product and services to meet customer need, or to enhance existing product and service so that they meet customer need more exactly. This information available can help you to create new product. What you can do, you can offer new product to meet the exact need of the customers. Through this big data you found new needs. Those needs can be fulfilled by introducing new product to the marketplace. Right, with that we can complete the technology topic also.